Hey guys, in my last video, I broke down the anatomy of a 200% trade. I shared some of the things that we consider before buying a stock using that real live example trade, which was actually a trade that our internal analyst team found and it was added to the Insider Report portfolio. So if you missed that video, make sure you click over and watch it. I think you're going to learn a ton. I'll put a link below this video to that video as well. Now, for today, I want to talk about two things. First, I want to talk about how insider data can actually help you choose a sector to trade in. Not just a stock, but like what sector to look at. And second, I want to go over the details of the stock that we're going to roll all the profits into from yesterday's trade, the 200% plus that we made on that trade. So let's start with something called the insider buy-sell ratio. Now, this is a number that demonstrates when insiders within a specific industry are moving into the markets and out of the markets. And it compares that number with price. It lays it over the price. So it gives us a great picture of how these insiders get in almost at every low within their sector. It's pretty impressive, in fact. Before we start looking at individual sectors, though, I want to take a look at kind of the market as a whole. It's important that you realize how powerful this information really is, guys. So the insider data would laid across the SPY, which is an ETF, and it tracks the S&P. All right, so it shows really the insiders know what they're doing is what it does. I mean, let's take a look at this chart over here. So real quick, for those of you who don't know, the SPY is made up every sector. So, and it really represents the overall market. All right. So these green bars that you see, these represent buying from insiders. Okay. And the higher those green bars are, the more insiders are buying. And so you can see they bought back in 2009, right? During the lows, during, we had that big sell-off recession, basically. The 2011 pullback, they bought. And then again in 2015, they bought. And again, last December, when we had the big drop, we see insiders coming in for that. So every time you see these bars jump up, you know the insiders are coming in. All right. All of the best times to buy over the last decade, in fact, they bought. And it's like this across every sector. In fact, if we look at financials, we can see that every time the market goes down, we get a little dip, insiders come in. Dip, the insiders come in. A dip, the insiders come in. A dip, insiders come in. It's uncanny, isn't it? Let's take a look at utilities. Again, we see the same thing. Of course, utilities are pretty straight line, but you can still see anytime there's like a little bit of a dip or it comes down, insiders start coming in. Basic materials, again, huge sell-off, buyers, massive amount of insiders, sell-off, insiders. The insiders know when to get into the market, all right? They know when their stocks are undervalued, and they're such a great indication of when to get in. And if you look at this chart, you realize the insiders, they bought every single low perfectly, guys. It's amazing. These are people you really need to be watching. Following them is it's like getting a completely legal insider tip, but it's coming from the smartest 1% of investors in the market. All right, and that's why I'm always telling you guys the Form 4. It is the most valuable piece of paper on Wall Street. So, where are the insiders buying right now? That's the question, right? What's happening today? Let's take a look. You can see last month, insiders piled in. In fact, more than they ever have. Last time they piled in, even close to this, was pretty much at the bottom of the market. We had this big sell-off, and look what happened with the insiders. They are piling in. Another little dip, and they pile in again. Another dip, and they pile in again. These guys have it made. I'm telling you, they are so smart. So anyway, the interesting thing here is you can see that just last month, insiders piled in more than they ever have. So we have to ask ourselves, what does this mean? Well, it means insiders believe their sector is undervalued. Now, that doesn't mean that every company is undervalued within that sector or is going to jump up, but the sector as a whole is certainly undervalued. So today, I want to share with you the research on an energy stock that my team has identified. And you're going to have to act quick on this because just since my team has identified it, I think it's already up 8 or 10%, which still plenty of room. We just got in this stock. But I do want to tell you on the front end, this is not going to be a freebie. All right, you got to be an Insider Report member to get the ticker symbol, but I still want to go through the research with you because I think you can learn a lot about what we look at when we're trying to identify insider trading opportunities, even more so than what I went through yesterday. All right, so today's pick is actually a small cap energy stock, and it is experiencing extremely heavy buying from a very influential insider. He's the founder of a private holding company which owns a ton of noteworthy companies, one of which is an oil and gas exploration firm, right? He actually built the company from the ground up. So not only is he a mega success, but he's also intimately familiar with this energy sector. He knows what he's talking about. Now, after taking a huge stake in the company back in 2016, he appointed 2 of his own guys to the board of directors. But I want you to notice, look what happened back in 2016. All right, we had this little level. He was buying so much. Like I was going through the Form 4s, and I think he's got a dozen or more. He just kept buying. It's like he knew something, right? And it ranged anywhere from $1.55 to $2.23. And the crazy thing was, over the next 3 months, the stock nearly tripled. All right, and of course, he sat on this position for 3 years without picking up another share until recently. Now, following 2 purchases of 1 million shares each in late May, he bought 5 more times in August to pick up an additional 2.5 million shares. We're talking about millions and millions of dollars worth of money here, or worth of stock that he's buying. So his buys range again from $1.55 to $2.23, and right now it's trading a little over $2 mark. All right, so remember this slide, the energy sector, right? Huge buying levels from insiders in recent weeks, and in fact, if we look at the ratios here, this is the highest level in the last 15 years on any given month. So this says a lot. Now, clearly, these in-the-know traders believe now is the time to get long energy. And this CEO typically or clearly knows as well. And the last time he got in, the market jumped up quite a bit. Now, here's the interesting thing. The summer downtrend, which we see summer months tend to downtrend, and not only has it broken out of it, but it's starting to push steadily higher. Like if we look at these ranges that it's beginning to create. So our first target on this particular trade is going to be around 267, 30% above where it was actually trading at. Beyond that, we're going to look for a move well above the $3 mark. And we expected to see some new highs. So small stocks like this can make really big moves on a percentage basis. So there's a ton of profit potential. This trade is also optionable. All right, so we suggest an option to our Insider Report members for every trade that we put out, assuming it has an option. If it's an optionable stock, some options or some trades do not have an option available if they're too small. But most of our trades are large enough that they have an option available. So we've got a really great opportunity coming together here. If you want to get your hands on this ticker symbol, though, you need to attend one of our upcoming on-demand webinars fast, all right? Because the reality is we don't know what the insiders know. And like I said, this particular stock has already moved up about 8%, 10% since then. Now, not only will you be able to get your hands on the ticker symbol for this, but we have also released a special report with 3 stocks. All have massive insider buying, very similar to this. And we give you all the supporting data. And believe me, guys, these stocks are ready to pop. So click on the link below, attend an on-demand webinar. They start every 15 minutes. So you can go and you can look at one right now. If you don't have time, click over anyway and register for an upcoming event. Schedule a viewing. If you're going to do that, I just want to suggest checking the box for a text message. Life's busy. We get sidetracked. We forget about things. Check that box, put in your phone number, and we will send you a text message as well to remind you. So as I said, we don't know what the insiders know. So we don't know when it's going to jump, but it could be any minute now. All right. So check it out. I hope to see you in the members area soon, guys, and have a great day.